A new investigation calls into question the integrity of numerous YouTubers and influencers regarding their previews of Star Wars Outlaws. Specifically, this investigation notes that these YouTubers and influencers were paid by Ubisoft to enjoy VIP experiences at Disneyland, get to go on sightseeing tours for whales off the coast of California, and also obviously partake in a giant party for the upcoming Star Wars Outlaws games, where these YouTubers and influencers were given around 4 hours of time with the game. Before we get to this, I'd like to ask you, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos here at the Trent Report. Wrote this up over at thatparkplace.com, and this investigation was conducted by German YouTuber Cyberpunk 20XX, and he discovered that multiple YouTubers and influencers revealed they were actually influenced by Ubisoft as part of the company's largest marketing campaign ever. So just to provide some context before we get into what Cyberpunk 20XX discovered, Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot revealed that the company was rolling out its largest marketing campaign ever for Star Wars Outlaws. He made these comments during a recent earnings report call. He was asked by Barclays' Nick Dempsey, when I look at the guidance for Q2, and if I assume something similar for back catalog in Q2 as Q1, kind of getting to 200 to 230 million, that sort of range for the new release of Star Wars Outlaws, when I look at the $70 price and then assuming what you might get from it, I'm getting to around 5 million units, something in that sort of bracket. First of all, where could I be going wrong with that thinking? Secondly, are you just being pretty conservative in your guidance? Because I guess given the interest in that game, we might have thought it would be more than 5 million units. And this is what Guillemot said in response. He said, we can't comment on the very numbers you are quoting, but what we have factored in is a strong launch for Star Wars Outlaws that reflects the fact that it is among the most awaited games of the industry this year, and a really strong positive community sentiment. And also the fact that we are coming with the biggest marketing campaign ever so far for an Ubisoft game. So he's admitting that this is their biggest marketing campaign for a game that they have ever done. Ever done. That's what he's saying right here. So that's what we've been factoring in the second quarter. So they're going to be spending a lot of money to promote this game. And it seems like where they're spending a lot of this money is on influencer marketing and flying these YouTubers and influencers to Los Angeles to give them 4 hours with the game. And so Cyberpunk 20XX revealed that one of his fellow German YouTubers, Kartoffel Koenig, confirmed the claim that it was the biggest marketing campaign ever. As translated by YouTube, Koenig said this: we are with the largest marketing campaign ever for a Ubisoft game. And I can definitely confirm the last part, as I was invited by Ubisoft to come to Los Angeles and play in the Star Wars Outlaws event. The location was really polished up, and there was a day in Disneyland and something like that. So Ubisoft spent a lot on that. So this guy is confirming that he was flown out to, or at least he was offered to be flown out to Los Angeles, take part in a VIP experience at Disneyland, and then obviously do some other things as well. And we know that this is indeed what happened because we get this footage from a British influencer and YouTuber Louise Julie, which Cyberpunk 20XX discovered. And he revealed she was brought to Los Angeles by Ubisoft early and was taken on a boat tour that she claims was, quote, originally a whale tour to see if we could spot any whales. She added, so basically they invited a bunch of UK creators who got there early because our flights were booked early because it's a very long travel time. It was like a 12-hour journey. And that's part of her vlog that she does. I think it's up on her YouTube channel. You can be able to find it here on YouTube. So we also have a lot of these posts here on X from other YouTubers and influencers as well. One of them is this guy, Chewy. He posted this on X saying, Ubisoft and Star Wars flew me out to California to play Star Wars Outlaws, interview the game director and lead writer, and meet the cast. I am beyond grateful for this opportunity. VIP tour of Disneyland tomorrow. So there you go. They were getting VIP tours of Disneyland. In fact, if we scroll down here a little bit here, this actually wasn't included in Cyberpunk 20XX's video, but there's a post here from the Star Wars HQ, where as part of that VIP experience at Disneyland, they built epic lightsabers at Galaxy's Edge, which I think those are pretty expensive. I haven't looked into see how those are, but that is an expensive experience. Obviously, one wonders how much Disneyland was fronting this stuff, how much the Walt Disney Company was fronting, because this, again, it is obviously a Star Wars game. Star Wars is owned by the Walt Disney Company. But we also had this from Queen Tofu, another influencer. She said that she was actually given a Knicks plushie and was flown out as well. She said, had a blast experiencing Star Wars Outlaws at the preview event this week. Thank you, Ubisoft, for the Knicks plushie and for flying me out for all the festivities. If we jump down here, interestingly, Cyberpunk 20XX noted that Louise Julie has denied being paid by Ubisoft to promote the game, despite being flown to Los Angeles, given a VIP experience to Disneyland, and then taken on the whale sighting tour, as well as being schmoozed at the actual Star Wars Outlaws event, which was just a giant big party. So she actually posted this on her preview video for Star Wars Outlaws, where she's hyping it up and recommending it. And she said, PSA, I was not paid by Ubisoft or anyone else to make this video. I was given the opportunity to record content, which you were literally paid to be there for. You were given all these in-kind donations, to use a accounting term, I guess. However, it is fully my own choice to make and share content based on it. The only money I make from this content is from YouTube views. There is no shilling or hidden agendas involved, except you literally were flown out to Disneyland, to Los Angeles, got a VIP experience at Disneyland, got to go on your whale sighting tour, etc. You got all of that stuff that Ubisoft paid for you to do. So they did indeed pay you. That is what happened. They paid you for those things. Maybe it wasn't cash, but they paid you in other ways. And it wasn't just one event. It looks like there's actually been multiple events. We have this from Mirandalorian. She revealed that she had been invited to 2 events, one in June and another in July. She posted this on X. Ubisoft invited me out for another incredible week in California, and they know how to party. We played a 4-hour demo of Star Wars Outlaws. I adopted my own little Nick, so it looks like she got a plushie as well, and hung out with so many amazing people. More pics coming soon. And then if we scroll down here, this person asks, is this a second trip already? Wow, I'm officially jealous, but happy for you, Miranda. And she confirms that it was indeed a second trip. She says, I know, right? I couldn't believe it either. I'm still not over the jet lag from my last trip. So she's being flown out twice. And I think at the very least, there's like these are 3-day trips. So they were put up in a pretty expensive hotel for 3 days. They were flown out there. A lot of these influencers are coming from Europe. It wasn't just people in the United States. So you're looking at much more expensive flights, 3 days in a hotel, VIP Disneyland experience, whale sightseeing. I mean, this stuff is very, very expensive that Ubisoft was putting up here for a lot of these people. But they're not the only company to do this. We've seen this before. Probably the biggest example of this was Prime Video's The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. Amazon and Prime Video paid for influencers to meet with the show's creators and get exclusive first looks for the show at multiple events, including one at Oxford and another at Mallorca. While there was initial interest in the show, a report from the Hollywood Reporter detailed that 63% of individuals who started watching the show in the United States failed to finish it. This is what the Hollywood Reporter's Kim Master reported. While Amazon, like other streamers, provides only limited data, and internally it held information even more closely than usual on the series, sources confirm that The Rings of Power had a 37% domestic completion rate. Customers who watched the entire series. Overseas, it reached 45%. A 50% completion rate would be a solid but not spectacular result, according to insiders. So did not work out well for The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, when they tried this same type of marketing stunt. I want to point out this too, that this follows in the wake of German YouTuber channel Piet Schmidt, this channel has over 2 million subscribers, and they admitted that it removed its Star Wars Outlaws preview video, and that the video itself was subject to a review process from a third party, indicating that Ubisoft was clearly dictating terms to this third party, who was then enforcing it on these people, YouTubers, influencers that they were contracted with. So they confirmed that they removed the video here in this post. This is a translation by Deeple. It says, "Hi, Peter, here. We've taken the Star Wars video offline, not because we wanted to sweep something under the carpet or anything, but because it should never have been published and we don't want it on the channel. We'll talk a bit more about this in the next Pietcast episode. I'm sorry." And this came, like I said, after they admitted that a third-party agency had to approve of the video that he's now taken down. So again, this is translated by Deeple. There are some little issues here, but He said this: I completely understand the arguments that were made here, and that was not correct. I had the opportunity to play the game for 4 hours, and it was edited into over an hour of video. As part of the review process, the entire video was thrown back to us, and an intermediary agency, not Ubisoft, asked for a lot of changes, especially to the wording at the beginning. But since I personally thought the game was really cool, I didn't see that as a big problem. This was a huge miscalculation. If you watch the Cyberpunk 20XX video, he actually has a clip from the Piet Schmidt video in there. There's actually a compilation of clips along with him and a number of other German YouTubers and influencers, and it clearly looks like Ubisoft was indeed paying these people to promote the game, specifically telling people to click a pre-order link in the description of their videos. You see this on all of these compilations that he put together. Does a really good job on that about, I would say, 3/4 of the way through the video. So I definitely think that this guy was being paid. He clearly is talking about having to work through an intermediate agency. He's trying to deflect from Ubisoft, claiming it's a third party, but clearly, come on, guy. We're not stupid. We realized that Ubisoft was probably working with this third party, and they're just trying to distance themselves by having the third party working with you to do that. But it's clearly coming from Ubisoft and is part of their marketing initiative for this game. And just one more thing before we go here, going back to the Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power, we had this YouTuber, Hello Future Me, noting that he was contacted by Prime Video to promote the show, but when he actually asked them whether or not he would be able to have full creative control over his reviews and reactions, Prime Video ghosted him. He wrote this: Amazon ghosted me as soon as I said they couldn't pay me to control what I say about Rings of Power. Not a good look. So it's probably likely that something similar was taking place with Ubisoft, with this third party and these YouTubers and influencers. That's not to say that it's happening in all of the cases. There probably might be some cases like this Louise woman, where she is clearly just being highly influenced by Ubisoft through the VIP Disneyland experience, through the whale sightseeing tour, the boat tour, through the 3-day hotel stay in California, the flight from the United Kingdom to California, and then obviously the party atmosphere that they created around their actual gameplay footage, where it looks like it is a giant like bar atmosphere. There's like a DJ, there's lights are dim, there's beverages and food and all of that stuff happening as well, clearly trying to get people to give them positive reviews after maybe being on some libations that would make them maybe not see some of the absolutely terrible things that we have seen in the footage that these people have shown, which includes stormtroopers literally just shooting into a wall, a stormtrooper walking up to Kay Vess, the game's main character, and then not even recognizing that she's there until they're like literally face to face. And then he finally pulls his rifle up. And then at that point, the player then just shoots him in the face, but somehow the stormtrooper doesn't die. There's also numerous videos of Kay Vess doing assassinations where she literally like grabs the stormtrooper by the helmet, tosses him down into the ground, and somehow that knocks him unconscious. It's just utterly ridiculous stuff that pulls you out of the immersion. Looks absolutely terrible. But I think the worst stuff is the physics that they show. I mean, as soon as she like grabs them, some of these stormtroopers like immediately drop their guns. Like, what? Why? Wouldn't they try and like use their weapon to like hit her or smash her in the head? I don't know. Why would you drop your rifle as soon as someone touches you? It doesn't make any sense. There's all kinds of issues with her crashing into immovable objects on the speeder bike. She goes up, like just literally flies up and starts floating in the air and flailing instead of turning into a bug on the side of the mountain. It looks really bad. The AI detection looks absolutely terrible. So as much as these people might be saying that they were fully immersed or they like this stuff, when you actually look at the gameplay that they're showing as they're saying how great the game is, it looks absolutely terrible. But at the end of the day, I think the fact that this is being brought up by Cyberpunk 20XX calls into question the integrity of a lot of these people. I think it really does. Can you truly be honest if you're getting paid thousands of dollars to go on a trip to California and get VIP experiences at Disneyland? Can you trust someone who is getting that kind of financial kickback to give you a review? I don't think you can. I don't think you can. I think it calls into question the validity, the integrity, and the honesty of those reviews and those previews. But those are my thoughts on this. Let me know what you guys make of this. Let me know in the comments below. Remember to always be charitable, especially to each other, but to always speak the truth.